Welcome back to FX Movie Download, where we are so excited to be joined by the Chief Magic Consultant on Now You See Me 2, Keith Barry. Keith, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. So how did you become involved with the Now You See Me franchise?
They were interviewing a whole bunch of consultants, and it was kind of funny. I went into a big high-powered meeting, and in my head, I'd written a scene in the movie. So I gave them an idea for a scene in the movie, which did end up in Now You See Me 1. And ultimately, after just giving them that idea, immediately they just stood up and said, okay, this meeting's over, he's got the job.
When you think back on the movie, what do you remember most about the production?
Well, I suppose, you know, working specifically with Woody Harrelson, because we got quite close, and he actually really took on board the idea of becoming a mentalist and hypnotist in real life. So we would go out and about to dinners, to restaurants, and Woody would actually be attempting to hypnotize people. He'd be trying to mentalize people, hack into their brains.
I feel from your face you're freaked by the flow of blood, which is fully fixable in a snap.
What are some of the basics that you imparted to Woody for mentalism?
The mixture of magic, psychology, and hypnosis is what is known as a mentalist. So a mentalist is a person who uses a whole host of different techniques in a way that perceptually makes it look like I can read your mind. Now, I don't believe, this is a personal belief, I don't believe anybody is psychic or can read minds, but we can make it look like we can truly read minds by being able to read your body language, your eye movements, and by using all these different techniques, I can figure out a specific thought at a specific moment in time.
So can you speak about the different types of magic that are represented by each of the horsemen?
Yes, so Woody is obviously the mentalist and hypnotist. Then, you know, Lizzie Kaplan was this kind of goofball, the distraction artist, a bit of a comedian.
What is it? Trucker's Hitch?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Then you've got Jesse Eisenberg, was this kind of crazy intellect, and he's kind of the brains of the magic. Dave Franco is the sleight of hand artist. He's the card guy. He's the guy who can spin cards, and he can actually do this in real life. He's one of the best card throwers now that I know. So ultimately, if I was to pick a magician out of the four horsemen who could potentially become a magician in real life and actually be very good at it, it'd be Dave Franco.
What was the most difficult trick to perform in the film?
I can tell you straight away, it was an absolute unmitigated nightmare at chopping Lizzie's head off in the opening sequence. And the brief was, Keith, we want to do this with no CGI, and we want to see her real head moving. So in other words, not a double's head and not a fake head. So it took me 3 months to figure out a method for that.
Whoa.
And working very closely with the special effects team and the construction team to figure out a couch that safely I could put Lizzie in. And I remember after months and months of doing it, one of the producers came up to me and said, Keith, we got to get this in 3 takes. And I'm like, well, this is a very complicated kind of thing. And he's like, 3 takes, Keith. So I remember take 1, I'm just gonna be straight with it, it didn't work at all. And I was like, uh-oh, but then take 2, done, and that was it. They got that take in take 2, and that's the one that ended up on screen.
Well, your drop was obvious, and your body shell is flimsy. So if you wouldn't mind crawling out from under my couch and...
Welcome back to FX Movie Download, where we're once again joined by Keith Barry, who is going to perform some tricks for us.
So I'll do this just with you,
okay?
So put out your left hand for me like this, put out your left hand, let's just join hands like this. Stare at the back of your hand. And I want you to just imagine that both of our hands are melting together, becoming one hand. Really imagine that now. Take a deep breath in and out. Really focus now on our fingers and imagine that they're melting together. I'm going to send an electrical impulse down through my middle finger, and you'll feel that now. Can you feel that?
Yes.
You can actually feel that, right?
Yes.
I'm not touching you. You can actually feel that, right?
Yes.
Describe what you're feeling.
It feels like you're like pushing on it, and like it's like a little tingle.
A tingle. Oh, good. That means we're making a connection. Look at me. Focus on your first pet. Don't say anything out loud. Don't give me any clues at all. That's so important. So in your mind, I want you to just imagine that that pet is here with us right now. And imagine that you're calling the name of that pet. It's important, though, for everybody here and everybody at home to realize you haven't told me the name of this pet, you haven't told him the name of this pet, no one knows except you, and obviously your family at home or whatever. Look at me, focus on the name, just in your mind, not out loud, in your mind, say it over and over and over again. Sean, Sean, Sean.
You had a pet named Sean, for real? Welcome back to FX Movie Download. Here's more with Now You See Me 2 Chief Magic Consultant, Keith Barry.
So I'd like to show you some of the 2 little elastic bands. So we'll use the red one first. The red one goes around my first 2 fingers like this, okay? Now I want to trap that on there. So I'm gonna use the green elastic band to really trap it on. So I'll twist it around finger to finger like this. So then you can see that that really is trapped on there. Now what I mean by that is obviously you can see that it can't come through here, right? Mm-hmm. It can't come through the top. It can't go down to the bottom. It can't go through the back. Only when I count to 3 will it happen. 1, 2, 3. See it jump across? that is now
How did you do that?
over here, trapped still by the green elastic band. So now I'm going to teach you how it's done, right? So grab an elastic band each,
Okay.
put it over the first two fingers of your non-dominant hand. Perfect, good. So now you're going to take the green elastic band and put it over your first finger like this. Okay, good. So now you're going to twist like this.
Okay.
And put it over your middle finger. And then twist back and put it over your ring finger. Then twist back and put it over your little finger. So you've got it trapped.
Ah.
Got it? You trapped?
And it's
yeah,
trapped.
perfect.
I
So
can
it's
tell
trapped.
you, it's trapped.
Now, here's the secret though. It's trapped, but it's not really trapped because what's going to happen in a moment, it's going to revolve up and around and down and onto these two fingers, right? But you need to make it look like it's trapped first. So you pull it from the front, you say, look, it can't go through the front.
Can't go through the front.
It can't go through the top. Now, this is the important bit. Don't do this. You just give a little tug like that to make it look like it's trapped there, right? Okay, good, like that, yeah. And then you say you can't come through the back. Now, here's the bit. So let me show it to you from this angle. When you come back here, go across the way. So pull it back and across, and all four fingers are going to go in, okay? And then just let go of the band, but keep your fingers closed, okay? Now you're set. Show me.
I think
You're set. So now this is the fun part. In a moment, all you're going to do is you're going to straighten your fingers up, and it's just going to revolve itself around. See?
Oh, what I do? I mean,
I have to tell you, Sasha's a more natural magician than you right now, Adam.
I've somehow trapped them all now.
That's a magic trick in and of itself.
Welcome back to FX Movie Download. Once again, here's Now You See Me 2 Chief Magic Consultant, Keith Barry.
Here's another trick with a couple of sugar cubes. So, I'm going to use 4 sugar cubes for this. And here's the idea. Watch closely when I cover these two. 1, 2, 3, boom, one jumps across. I'll show you again. Watch 1, 2, 3. That one jumps up. And 1, 2, 3, that one jumps across. And then the final one's the most difficult one. 1, 2, 3, that one jumps across. That's all 4 cubes together. You want to know how it's done?
Yes.
Ultimately, what you need to do is learn how to palm, okay? Palming is where you're hiding something in your hand unbeknownst to the audience. So you put it in there, and then you just slowly relax your hand around it. So then with the trick, take, there's 4 sugar cubes. So if obviously they don't know about the hidden one, okay? So put them out in a square-like formation like that. Ultimately, what you're going to do is right hand goes up to the top right, left hand comes down here. Now, here's the hard part for you guys. You're just, at the same time you release this one up here, you're going to have to palm this one off of the table. So you're going to have to do that. Right. Okay, so look at the motion, look. You're going to have to do this to get it up and off. Okay? So, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, release and palm up. So then you come back to the singular one that's back here, and you're going to palm that and release the other one that you have up here. So 1, 2, 3. So now you're going to drop up here, and you're going to pick one of these up, but you're going to palm it. Don't forget, you're going to palm it like that. There you go, pretty good. And now you're going to cross over, okay, because you got a palm there. You're going to cross over, and you're going to drop there and pick the other one up. Boom. There you go. And that's it.
Just checking out this table here, but it looks fine.
It's
I'm
solid.
sorry.
And then your cleanup. The cleanup is actually the most important thing because you're hot here is what we call in the industry.
Right.
So if you take too long, people might go, show us your hands. So before they can even say that, you just scoop them all up and throw them back in the bowl. And you're done. So the evidence has gone back into the bowl, and then you're clean.